Hello, me Ghost. It's been a while since I've updated a video. I've recorded here and there, but the quality of the video, my computer having issues, a whole bunch of things going on. But I've been starting to get sucked in RimWorld. And I know it's an older game, I know there's a whole bunch of DLC and a whole bunch of mods that you can do, but I've just been playing the base game. I've only played hours, less than 30 hours, so I've barely scratched the surface. I've been watching YouTubers that have thousands of hours game, and really hard to keep track of what they're doing, so I've just kind of been messing around and following what I can do to survive. And if you don't know what RimWorld is, you can find people that can explain it a lot better than I can. But it, as it says here, is a story generator. Less of a game, more of a story generator. My head is blocking some of the side here, but I'm gonna start a brand new colony. And there's a couple of different scenarios you can play. There's Crash Landed, where you get survivors, and it's a classic RimWorld experience. There's the Lost Tribe, where you get 5 tribes people. It's more difficult, even though you have 5 people, because you start poor and lack technology, what it says here. And you research slower, there's more things to overcome. Crash Landed, you have some materials you start with, you get some weapons, you get stuff that's already researched, so it's a little bit more, I wouldn't say easy. I'm a very beginner at this game, so I'm gonna just do the Crash Landed, starting with 3 people. Also edit it, but I'm not gonna do that. So here's the AI storyteller that I was mentioning. AI storyteller creates events like raids, pirate raids specifically, resource drops, attacks, and it affects the story of your colony. There's Cassandra Classic, Phoebe Chillax, and Randy Random. A lot of people like Randy Random because it doesn't have the same ramp up that the Cassandra Classic one does. She has an increasing curve of challenge and tension, push you with dangerous events, then give you breathing room, and then push you again. Phoebe Chillax has a lot more space between the events that happen, but it can be a lot harder once those events do happen. And then Randy Random, it doesn't matter. It could be very difficult, it could be high drama is what it says here, unavoidable sacrifices, but I'm just gonna go with Cassandra Class because that's the one I go with. And there's different difficulties. I'm gonna do reload anytime just in case I have any issues as I go through the recording. I need to go back at all. But yeah, storyteller and playstyle can be changed at any time as well. And this is a game that has a lot of reading, so if it's not your kind of game, you can skip through as you want. I'm gonna try to cut this down a little bit, but it's a lot of reading. It's a story generator, and I'm gonna try to follow a story, go along with the people that I get. So on this screen here, we have the create world screen. I've had luck with a seed just titled Entrails, so I'm just gonna go with that. There's globe coverage. Just gonna leave it at 30% because you don't need to generate even 50% of the whole world, really. Rainfall is normal, temperature is normal, population's normal, and I'm just gonna leave the factions as they are as well. Let's generate. So this will be our starting, we have to select a starting site. And the recommendations that I've seen is temperate forest, nearby a road, maybe in the mountains is what some people like to do. I don't know. I like the names of some of these places. Let me see. Hawk's Retirement Forest. Gray Ferret Rainforest. Gray Cliffs. What faction? There's the recommendation to look into living nearby other factions, especially ones that are neutral, because you can trade with them, you can build your relationship with them. I might go somewhere around these two factions. What I've done here is I've opened up the terrain button, and it'll explain the terrain a little bit. Will show what kind of stone you have. I've seen recommendation of granite being good because it's strong. Sandstone is good because it's fast to build when making sandstone walls, and marble is beautiful, so you can really bring up the quality of the that you can build. Then the other thing to look at is growing period. So the growing period is 40 out of 60 days, not a full year, and I've only ever played them with their full years. Okay, I think I'm gonna give myself a little bit of a challenge and at least do 50 out of 60 days for the growing period. So I'll have to figure out, or at least build a storage of food for those 10 days that nothing grows. There's berries to forage, slate and marble, mountainous, kind of near a river. Okay. So, this is going to take me a little while to go through as well. This is the character creation. You have 3 that you can choose from, but you have a larger party that those 3 came from. And I'm going to try to come up with at least a little bit of a story for the 3 people that were the survivors. And I might not mess around with these too much for the ones that are going to be left behind. I don't want to waste a whole bunch of time. But I want to create some kind of cohesive story that explains, some of the relationships. As you can see here, Maxie, the animal farmer, her brother is Daniel, and right here, he would be good, except he's a pyromaniac. He loves fire. He does not extinguish fires. He will start random fire starting sprees. And while I can appreciate that of a man, I'm gonna not be very conductive of starting our colony on this godforsaken RimWorld. Edge of space. What I want to do is, from this box down here, team skills, you're gonna see some of them have 0, some of them have a lot. Cooking is gonna be one that's really important to have a good amount of skill in. Construction at the very beginning. Plants is gonna be good. Medical is really important. But you want to have a well-rounded team. And you want to have some people that are specialized and that have passion, or these little flames that are next to their skills. So they're gonna basically learn those skills a lot faster because they're passionate about them. One of the things we want to look for is somebody that has both medical and intellectual, because they're going to be our researcher and doctor. They do have Holly Kit, that passionate in medical and intellectual, and those are 7. Can't do social or artistic. Great, too smart. Learns everything much faster than anyone, but can be quite eccentric. Creepy breathing, and a fast walker. fast one. This person's also 17, so they only have a childhood background, so these other ones have adulthood backgrounds too. Kit here is a reclusive prodigy. Having taken a keen interest in genetic modification and moral augmentation from a young age, she had little time or desire for a regular childhood. That gives her a +4 to medical and a +4 to intellectual. Wardening disabled, art disabled. Now that I read that, that's actually not going to be a good one. Because we want somebody that can do, do everything that has to do with doctoring if they're going to be our doctor. So that's not going to be good. She's pyromaniac too. Well, I'll select some of the people that I'm gonna be going for in this round, and then I'll kind of tell you what my story is. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I think I have my team here. We have, first up, Dr. Edgar. He grew up as a sickly child, growing up with a rare disease. Very familiar with science and medicine. That's what his strengths are focused on, medicine, intellectual. He's not as good at melee, construction, or social, but no, we don't need everybody to be skilled in. After he got a little older and got treatment for condition, he moved out near forests. He spent his time building furniture for wealthy RimWorld. That gives him a higher construction and plants. Interesting that the construction kind of cancels out from the childhood. -2 +4, so we have somebody that can do some construction in the beginning, which is good. He has a great memory. He will lose unused skills at half the rate of other people. So one of the things to consider, and why you need to have people that are specialized, is that they will gain skills in those areas that they're participating in often, and they'll lose skills that they're not utilizing at certain. So don't want everybody doing everything, because then you won't have the people that have high enough skills to do certain. Anyway, his other trait is Wimp. Pain shock threshold, -50%. It's probably coming from child background. He does have an old gunshot wound, but I took him anyway because the efficiency was 93%. Sometimes you'll see 78% or worse, things like that. And you want to avoid people that have, at least when you start off with, that have a lot of health conditions, because you have to compensate for that, or you'll have to consider your starting strategies if health conditions or too old. Dr. Edgar here is only 4. Chronologically, he's 119. And then wife, Maxi Power. Animal farmer here, she gets left behind. But that'll be okay. Yeah, he does have a wife. Furniture builder, but he has that medical skill, and in this setting, he has to take back up those skills and take on that role of researcher rather than life out in the forest that envisioned for him. Next up, we have Chef Amanda. She's 20. Her childhood was as a medieval slave. Her adulthood was at where she gained her skills in melee and cooking. And I took her because of her cooking passion and her melee passion. But she, she has a little bit of construction. She has some mining. She has a passion for artistic skill. Even though she doesn't have any skill, she is a tortured artist. Feels alienated and misunderstood by human beings. Constant stuff. But gain a chance to get creativity, inspiration after break. -8 permanent mood debuff. Probably not great, but I don't want to roll a whole bunch more for another chef. He's only 20, like I mentioned, biologically. Chronological age is 31. No health conditions, but she is incapable of doctoring or wardening social skills. That's something here. Do we have somebody that's social? We have Builder Celt. Is social. So Builder Celt, he is 47. Childhood was as a spy. Trained in the arts of infiltration and information gathering when he was very young. Gathering intel in a brutal war, and he had limited time for education. So he's good at shooting. He does have some medical skill, but I also got him because of that passion in construction. Things that you have to build pretty early on that I think 5 skill and above, and I wanted to make sure I had somebody that had passion in construction 5. But anyway, Builder Celt gained a lot of skills as being a child spy, and in his adulthood became a defector, deciding to leave the oppressive dictatorship he lived, and after him that year's run, and he treated his own wounds because there was no doctor. So that gave him a little bit of medical skill as well. I think it's going to be good to have 2 people that have some medical skill, just in case something happens to Dr. Edgar. Builder Celt here also is psychically deaf. He has no psychic sensitivity at all, but he is also incapable of dealing with animals, artistic work, and plant work. And his daughter is people that were left behind from the ship that crashed on. And I decided to add their title into the middle name section here because that's what's going to show. And I want to remember who has what role, because I struggle with differentiating sometimes, especially when I'm zoomed out on the map. So let's get started with our 3 people. 3 of you awake from your crypto sleep sarcophagi, the sound of sirens ripping metal. You barely get to escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you land on the unknown rim. As pieces of the shredded starship fall around you, start making plans to survive. So we have Amanda, Edgar, and Celt, who have survived from this crash. They don't know each other super well. Had family members that were on the ship with them that they lost. So some of them are probably not doing really well right now. Look okay. And pause and... well, let's see where our people crashed. Among some, got a cat. Merchant. So let's take a look at our a lot of animals. Mountain. No cave. What I want to take a look at, there are some buttons down here below me that this one shows temperature. So there's one that I look at, one of these buttons down here called toggle fertility overlay, and that shows where the fertile land is to plant stuff. You're gonna get more output from your crops. So because I see a whole bunch of really nice land down here, I think I'm going to build my base down next to that. And next to this side of the mountain or the hill. First, what we want to do is get like a storage space, I think. Zone, stockpile zone. Little 10 by 10 stockpile zone. Allow all that stuff. And let's get our good shooter gun. Look at our bio. Builder Kelt. Gonna get the bolt action rifle. Dr. Edgar. Gonna get the revolver. A knife. Because he's gonna be our main shooter, I want him to have all of protective gear. Okay, so they're moving things over. And stuff over here to just allow that to... All these red X's are not allowed to be stored, otherwise they start gathering up, and you don't want them to go all over the place. But I want them to start collecting this steel, because that's going to be really important for building some stuff. From what I've heard, I believe you can make a 13 by 13 square and have it complete. Otherwise, you're going to need support columns or adding in walls in the middle, break up a larger room like that. As the room's not going to go over it. There's also mods you can download to give you a bunch of different colors to work with for your planning. I'm not gonna bother with that right now. Let's start building in wall. But so I have a couple. I have ideas for how I want to do this. One of the first things it says here is your colonists will need a place to sleep. They'll need some beds. I have 3 colonists here. I'm gonna build 3 bedrooms for them. Go into structures, wooden wall. There's also furniture here, and I'm gonna just make wooden beds for everybody. E to rotate. 3. And you can also decorate the rooms with like an end table and dresser and a plant pot. Gonna do all that, but I do want to see what it would look like. Make all the rooms look the same for now. One thing that you would change with a room if like you had a married couple, for example, or a pair that later on gets in a relationship, is you'd want to have a double bed and a little bit more room in the bedroom, just to fit all the extra furniture. But for now, none of them have relationships, so I'm just gonna make them each their own private room. go back to orders. Chop wood. One thing to keep in mind is that with your stockpile zones, it'll allow everything except for chunks, plants, and corpses. The thing that'll hold the things that are not in there, dumping stockpile. I'll put chunks of rubble, limestone chunks, marble chunks, that sort of thing. Anything that's in the way, I'll move it there. Same with corpses until I have a proper freezer set up. As after the bedrooms, the next best thing that you're going to want to set up is your kitchen and your freezer. Health is already starting. So to really help them prioritize what tasks you want them to do, there's the work tab here. The priorities are already set up based off of things that they're good at and can do. There'll be no option to do something if they're incapable of doing it. But if they just have no skill, you can have them build that skill later. But if they're incapable of doing a certain task, you can't even assign it as an option to work on. One thing I like to do is changing it to manual priorities. And a lot of people recommend doing firefighting as priority 1. It's also going to be the highest priority based off of this left to right scale here. I'm going to have patient be number 1 because when people are hurt, I want them to do that. I want Dr. Edgar to be our doctor at number 1. I have Builder Kelt have his doctoring be at number 4, the lowest. Bed rest I also want at 1. Basic I also want at 1. That'll be things like toggling switches, opening containers. I always want them to do that right away. It's gonna be in Chef Amanda, I want to be cooking first. Builder Kelt, I want to be building first. Yeah. So we're building. Things are looking good. They haven't been cutting down the trees on the inside though, so what I want to do is go to work. Plant cut is going to be 2. Let's get Chef Amanda and Dr. Edgar to plant cut all of the stuff in the way for now. So do I want to start growing some plants now? Probably. I'll probably want to start. We'll go into zone, growing zone. And let's just do a 10 by 10 spot. Let's grow rice. That grows really fast. That'll give us some food really fast. Also do want to start planning out here. Dr. Edgar tried to woo Chef Amanda by jokingly half-complimenting the fighting method. Chef Amanda agreed to become Dr. Edgar's lover. Dr. Edgar and Chef Amanda now sleep together, consider assigning. Dr. Edgar, married to Maxie, has done an affair with Chef Amanda. Damn. Hey, Dr. Edgar. Come on real fast. They just lost your... Let's, cancel that. That bed. Let's assign this one to Builder Kelt. Double bed. And we'll give double bed. So because I already have a double bed, that actually just build the room big to begin with. So our trio here is really making some headway on building. But let's fast forward. So I've heard some people like to build 2 thick walls when it comes to their freezer to insulate it better. I'm going to try that out. See how it works. Need a little research bench could be a good idea. There's also you need a butchery table to butcher the animals that you hunt. You need a stove to then cook those butchered animals. Okay, I decided to move my camera because it was blocking some of the pop-ups under here, and I just realized. So we are dealing with that. And our room is created, so now they're roofing it. Actually see zone. There we go. And area. Home area will expand as you build. Also need some lights in the main room. I'm gonna put one on either side of the door. Very, very dark in there. Let's see, what are some stuff they're talking about? Social. Chatted about taming cobras. So we've officially made it the first day. We built the beds, which is a good first step. What I have open here now is the schedule page, I guess. And what I want to do is I want to add recreation on either side of the schedule. And I should build some recreation. A whole lot more wood. I'll probably pull to chopping. And hauling. Up in the and we'll really be playing with this a lot. Like the builder can actually chop down trees as long as it's in the way of what he's trying to build. So that's good to know. As you can see here on the moods, go into extremely low expectations. I steel myself to survive. So at the very beginning, they have very low expectations for what they need to get by. So at the very beginning, you're not going to have to worry as much about meeting those needs. Another thing that I'm going to want to do in my order, cut plants, take out all the grass stuff. So it'll just be dirt. We have our research table built. We have electricity, we have air conditioning. Battery is going to be the thing you want to go first. Dr. Edgar decided to get up in the middle of the night and clean the room. Or get the plants from the floor. One thing the next thing we got to do is get a table set up. They're not going to like to eat and get a negative mood debuff without a table. And for being in the darkness, I've put some torches. I realized that I only did the planning stage and I didn't actually start building. Let's start actually building that. What I'm doing here is I'm making a space for the kitchen when you first walk in. Then you walk into another room which has the butchery. Then you walk through the butchery area to get into the freezer. This creates a little bit of an airlock in the butchery area that all of the cold air from the freezer doesn't leave every time you enter into. So part of having a freezer is having this cooler. The blue side is where the cool air will go, and the red side is where the warmer air will be expelled. I'm going to put this right over. It also does say in this little tooltip, construction needed 5. I've been stuck where I had my freezer opened to the outside world because I didn't have somebody with a 5 construction. So that's just something I kept an eye out for when I considered my future people that I took on and what their construction skills are and things like that. So build more advanced things, you do need somebody with a higher construction. That's why it's good to have somebody with that as their specialty. So the next step is actually getting a power source for this cooler. Go to power. We have a wood-fired generator. We can also do a wind turbine. I have a lot of wood right now. Let's do a wood-fired generator. Let's put it there, but what I'm gonna do is expand area, cover this. So that we don't have rain and destroy this generator. I don't know if that's how it works, but be on the safe side. And then back to production. We'll upgrade to an electric stove later. What I probably want to do with it being so dark is put a standing lamp, which will be powered by the wood fire generator. Go back to power and do a power circuit. Power over there. Probably replace, because these give off some heat, the torch lamps. So once they go out, we probably... Oh, who's this? Galga? Got a visitor. Bully from the Calixo Union is... Purple Galga. Seems to have a few items. I forget who of our group has some skill. Wake him up. I trade with Galga. Some pants we can sell. Buy some pemmican. I've seen pemmican is you can research it and you get it when you start with the tribal scenario. Buy some of that. Go back to bed. You've been here some time and probably have been seen. Pirate raids will start soon. You should prepare defenses like sandbags or traps. That's actually in security. So there's sandbags with cloth, barricades of wood, spike traps. Go back to standing lamp, butchery. Kitchen. Merchant, do you want to pay rent and actually start pulling your weight around here? Because all you're doing is eating my food. Not about it. I'm gonna build a store. Orders, plan. Alright, so we have a butchery table and a fueled stove. We've got some lights that don't have power to them yet. Once you actually get the cooler into, you have to remember to set the temperature low. I set it to 8 degrees Fahrenheit. Because once things are frozen, then they don't go bad at all. Alright, so the freezer's set up, so what we want to do now is create a stockpile zone in the freezer. And then set storage. You're all. Not allow rotten. You're all allowed. Bugs are allowed. Corpses. Animal. Okay. Then we gotta set the storage priority bird. They're gonna put the corpses and the meat, food all in there preferred, and then if there's no room, they'll put it in the normal. Go back to power. Got low food. So let's people hunting maybe. Pausing for a moment because that is no good. A local rat has gone mad. It will attack everyone it sees. So before it attacks everybody, I'm going to highlight everybody, draft them, attack the rat. That way. Please attack the rat before it attacks you. Chef Amanda. Gonna go. Oh, Chef Amanda got the rat. Very nice. Let's also kill this turkey. Craft all of you. Schedule thing. Very nice. Oh yeah, I forgot. At the butchery table, you actually have to put in a bill. Butcher creature. So you have forever. Just want to be butchering. Let's add a bill for However, Chef Amanda is doing this in the dark, so that's not gonna be preferred. Gonna go slower. Builder Celt. Prioritize power conduit. Alright. So furniture, table. Let's do a 2x2 table. That. And I can seat 4 people around it. And what other recreation do we have? We have a chest. Festival furniture. Doing these wooden dining chairs because they will have more comfort to them. There we go. Have some horseshoes and some chest. And I see here they do have simple meals, so what I want to do is assign food. I do not want them eating rotten food. I do not want them eating chocolate. I do not want them eating raw meat. I'm eating any corpse. That all of them are on social drugs. Let's take it off. No drugs for now. Meals. Off the Well, we still have 26. Let's wait until we have some more simple meals, and then I'll say that I don't want them eating the packaged survival meals. Or I want those to be the last things that they eat. But we should probably hunt some more animals. In which case we go to Wildlife tab here. And we see, first of all, a percentage chance that an animal will attack back when harmed. Also, the chance to be able to tame an animal. Now I just want to hunt these turkeys, raccoons, guinea pigs. Or why not? There we go. So I redid the growing zone because I selected that. But I gotta get some stuff growing soon. Can't rely on hunting everything. Okay, so I have no more steel. That's a problem. Where can I get more? Probably mine it over here. I think this is... Let's go into orders. That out. Star miner. Why is there no power? Power's there. It's just connecting. I see. And one thing about kitchens that you want it to be clean, otherwise you're gonna get food poisoning. Let's add some floors and whole kitchen area, why not? And we have power. Light in the... shooting. And let all these... Since it looks like you'll be here for a while, Builder Kelt thinks that you should give your faction a name. What should your faction be called? I'm not very good at names, so I like that they just allow you to randomize it. We're finally getting our dinner table built, so that'll be another mood bonus. So I want to build some of my defenses down here. Build a wall. For waist-high barrier for use to cover from shots, but provide better objects. We'll just build a barrier. Air thrumbos? A small herd of thrumbos have wandered onto the area. Peaceful by nature, these rare creatures are extremely dangerous when some traders are willing to pay a lot of money for their precious leather and horn. Thrumbos will... I don't think I'm prepared. Take a look. I don't want to mess with that right now. And I think I'm gonna wrap it up here in a few minutes. Recording for about 2 hours now. I think I'm gonna put it here while everybody's sleeping. But I'm gonna record another video right after this, continuing on what I'm doing. I'm gonna try to split it up into parts, a bit more digestible. But we have named our settlement. We are Flytrap Tango. Forward to seeing where the rest of the story is going to go. So far, they've settled in with only a mad rat to attack them. Major problem, aside from Dr. Edgar cheating on his wife that he lost. We'll see where that goes. But I'm going to save here. Thank you and thank my patrons for all of your support, watching my videos, even though I'm not here all the time. I hope to, build up my energy, post a little bit more. But thank you again. You can catch me at ArtGhosts, ARTGH0STS, all across the board.